sessions with all the teachers, and I think that many of the questions have been answered. It's a quick review of the syllabus, for example, according to the questions. I will start with question number 1. It's about the surahs. A very important thing which I want to discuss about the surahs is, when you are answering a part of the question, the surah's theme is to be given. One thing which is very important, you are not supposed to write the name of the surah, and you are not going to write Makki or Madani surah. That is very important. Please do not write the name of the surah and Makki Madani, because if you are going to write it wrong, you will be losing your mark. The question does not ask you about the name of the surah or Makki and Madani. The question always asks you about, briefly describe the theme of the passage given to you, A or B part 1, 2 or 3. So you should be only giving the theme, and you are also going to give the importance of that passage. So do not write the name, because many of the students, when they are writing the name of the surah wrongly, they miss on the mark. Second important thing is that it's not necessary to give the reference in A and B part. It's your choice. If you can easily relate any of the reference regarding the Quranic passage, you can give the reference. If you cannot, then you can also leave it. But the explanation must be a proper explanation to score full marks in that passage. Coming to question number 2, as you have already discussed about question number 2 with Sir Zohaib and the previous teachers who had told you about question number 2, I think so it's very clear that you have to give the descriptive answers to the question. You have to give the details, whatever is asked to you. If you are given the question regarding any laws, you have to write the references of the Quran. If you go to paper number 2, there you have to write the ahadith, you have to give the references regarding ahadith. Length does not matter. It's your choice how you write the answer, but it should be a complete essay type answer which you have to write in 10 mark. And when you go to a 4-mark question, here you are going to give the evaluation, what you think. You have to give the analysis accordingly. I am not going to repeat question number 2's topics like Ijma and Qiyas or Hadith and Quran in paper 1 and paper 2. You have to completely learn all the topics regarding the Quran, its compilation, its revelation, its legal matters. You have to give the explanation of all of them if you are being asked the question. A very important question this time again is on the character qualities of the Holy Prophet, because Cambridge likes to give such a question and you can easily score the marks in the question regarding the character of the Holy Prophet. So when you are answering the question on the character of the Prophet, whatever quality is given to you, try to write at least 2 of the examples from the life of the Prophet regarding that quality. For example, if it is kindness or forgiveness, generosity, it can be justice, any such quality can be asked from you in the question. So you should be giving the examples from the life of the Holy Prophet and they should relate to that example. That quality should be explained properly and related to that. The life of the Prophet is again very important. As you know that in many of the papers, we can see that we have 2 of the questions from the life of the Prophet, so it makes about 50% of the paper. And if you have completed the complete life of the Holy Prophet, learned every question, every topic thoroughly, I don't think so that you will be missing the marks on it. Coming to 4-mark question regarding P1 and P2, when you are going to discuss about this, you can see that we have different type of questions. In some of the questions, you have to write the reasons. If you are going to give 2 of the reasons and developing the reasons, you can easily get 4 out of 4. Sometimes there are questions in which you have to give one reason and you can go along with the reference of the Quran or the Hadith to relate it with the question. And then you can get 4 out of 4. And many of the questions, they ask you how you can apply it in your own lives. So here you have to give the example from your own life. Do not relate it to the previous topics. You should be giving the example regarding your life, and you can relate it to the life of the Holy Prophet, the Caliph, how they had managed to it. When you come to the Ahadith question number 1 in paper 2, here you can give the reference in A part, and in the B part most of the students, they lose their marks because they are not writing the examples from the life of the Prophet or the companions, the caliphs, or you can also give an example from your own life. The present day examples can be given easily if you can relate it easily to the B part, whatever hadith is given to you. So B part needs the explanation according to the examples. I've already discussed question number 2 regarding paper 1 and paper 2, but this time again we have a very important question about isnad and matan along with the categories of hadith. That is very important this time for all of you, and we can also say that the first period, the prophets and the compilation of hadith during the period of the companions, that is also very important. So you should be learning the details regarding that. One more important thing is whenever you are explaining the surahs, the passages in paper 1, do not give the reference of hadith in it because they do mark it wrong. You cannot give the reference of hadith in the theme explained in the passages of Quran. After this, you have different type of questions regarding question number 2 in paper 2, like the classification, like you have Musnad and Musannaf collection. They are also important. And recently we got the question on communal and individual hadith. If you have prepared the hadith properly, you can easily answer those hadiths in your paper. And if you feel difficulty whenever such a question comes, you can take the example from the first 4 hadiths which are given in question number 1. They can be helpful for you to write the answer if you do not learn the hadith from your own syllabus. And I think so these things are very much clear to you about the articles of faith and the pillars of Islam, which have been already discussed by Sir Zohaib previously, and he had given you a great detail about all these things. Regarding the caliphs, we usually get 2 of the questions from the caliphs in the paper. So you have to prepare the caliphs thoroughly, and we have one more question which is very important. This is the leadership qualities of the caliphs and how the leaders today can learn from them and what qualities should be there in the leaders today. So we can give the examples regarding the leaders today, and we can take the examples of the previous caliphs from the period. So explain it and give the details with the examples. This is again a very important question this time for your paper. One thing which is very important, all the questions, they vary in length. Sometimes you get such a question in which you cannot write 2 pages or 2.5 pages. There is no hard and fast rule for that. You can write the answer accordingly, whatever is asked to you. So always write the answer in a proper detailed explanation. Give paragraphs, do not write in continuous prose, because the examiner, he wants that you should be writing your answer in paragraphs. If you are going to write in continuous prose, you are not going to miss on the marks, but it does not give a good impression to the examiner while marking the answers. Apart from this, I'll answer your questions, whatever you have in your mind. Yes?
Yes, ma'am. A question for you is, when we get an extra sheet, where are we supposed to mention the...
Alright, when you are asking for the extra sheet, you have to tie it at the end and you can number it after the last number. For example, mostly the sheets have the last number as 16. So after 16 you can mark it as 17, and wherever you are going to continue, you have to write under that question continued on page 16 or page 17, if you are going to continue that answer afterwards. Do write it in the last line. Please do not write under the lines, because your paper is scanned and everything written under the line or on the sides is going to be cut. It is not going to be taken as the paper.
Androon ka Badmash asks, can all the qualities come in one question?
The Holy Prophet. You can be given a question, for example, with 5 examples. You have to explain that why the Holy Prophet is known as the messenger of Allah, or he was selected as the messenger of Allah. Here you can give any 5 qualities and give 5 examples from the life of the Holy Prophet if the qualities are not yet mentioned. But if the qualities are mentioned in the question, then you are only going to stick to the qualities and give the examples regarding that.
Is Holy Prophet's treatment with animals and children important?
Holy Prophet's treatment with animals and children can be given in the quality of kindness. If you are explaining the quality of kindness, you can give an example from the life of the Prophet regarding the children or the treatment with the animals. So you can give an example there.
Someone in the audience asks, is attribution during Caliphate of Ali, Hazrat Ali Anhu important?
Arbitration. Alright, Hazrat Ali's question regarding the arbitration, because Hazrat Ali is again a very important topic this time among the caliphs. So when you are discussing about the life of Hazrat Ali as a caliph, you have to learn the details regarding the Battle of Camel, the Battle of Siffin, and along with that you have to learn how the Kharijites came into being. Then you also have to learn the arbitration, because arbitration is also a very important point in it, as you can be asked about the consequences of the Battle of Siffin, so you have to write about it. So it's very important, you have to learn the details regarding Hazrat Ali completely.
Can you explain threshold, how it works fully?
Threshold, basically, I do not tell the students to go according to the threshold given, because the paper is there and you have to attempt the paper. The threshold is made afterwards when the papers are checked. Cambridge makes the threshold later on, not at the time when you get the paper. And many of the students, they think what threshold is going to be this time. It's not that if you say that the student is getting 70 marks and 70 is A star in a threshold, it will be as you are getting 70 in your exam in the school. So the threshold is going to be A star. It is not like that, because the Cambridge never says that this is the mark and you are going to get A star on 70. They have explained the details accordingly in your syllabus also. Along with that, the whole details are given. You should not think about the threshold, only give your complete, you should be stressing on learning and writing the answers. Please do not go according to the threshold. If the paper is easy, the threshold will always be high. If the paper is difficult, the threshold is always low. So you should only stress on learning and answering your questions properly.
Sheikh Ahmed asks, does handwriting matter, as if someone has small handwriting or bad handwriting, what should they do in that case?
Handwriting matters a lot. For example, if you have written clearly, it could be read easily, then you will be marked for the paper. But if your writing is not illegible to read, you will not get a mark on it. Once we have checked a paper during the workshop and we saw that a student has written the answer, it was a proper answer, and we have given 4 out of 4 in that answer. But the Cambridge examiner or the trainer who was there, they said that we gave a 0 to that student because we could not read that answer. We as teachers try to read each and every word of the student, whatever is written on the paper. We try to read that. But the Cambridge is not going to read whatever is not illegible. So do write very clearly. There is no such thing that your writing is small or your writing is big. It could be easily read.
Is it important for us to learn the Shia books?
If you are going to learn about the Taba Tabain's period, you have to learn all the 10 books, the Sahai Sata, you have to learn all the Sunni 6 books and the 4 Shia books. You have to learn their details. Do not leave them aside.
That's it. No more further questions.
All right. Thank you very much.